It's a beautiful day to you, our lovely and smart real estate investors, whether you're home or you're in diaspora. I'm super delighted to welcome you to another insightful and educative section of Property Matters. In case you're coming across a video like this for the first time, I am an award winning real estate practitioner here in the beautiful city of Lagos. I'm experienced, and of course, I'm the founder of course, this YouTube station. Channel that you are looking at. Our Property Matter is a real estate YouTube talk show where we expose you to an objective analysis of how the real estate market in Lagos, Nigeria work. Over time, we've done an exciting episode on land matters, land documentation, how you can verify a land document by yourself. We've talked about typologies of land in Ekpe. We've talked about the zoning in Ekpe. We've also talked about different aspects of real estate investment that you need to put into consideration. We've talked about how you can identify a fraudulent real estate practitioner. We've talked about how you can identify a fraudulent real estate transaction. We've even went further to talk about how you can also, identify a manipulative real estate developer. Property Matter is a real estate YouTube talk show that is packed for you so that you have all the information and, of course, the idea on how the market works. And, of course, the aim of Property Matter is to ensure that you are not involved in any form of what fraudulent real estate practices, or you're buying any properties that will eventually give you issues in the future. So what you can do for us basically is to subscribe to this channel, encourage us by subscribing to this channel. We're doing a lot of things, we're putting a lot of resources, we are doing a lot of things to ensure that you get the best. So one of the ways you can, of course, say you support us and you want us to keep doing what we're doing is, okay, to subscribe to this channel, encourage your friends and families and your loved ones to do so. I still remain your award-winning real estate, practitioner here in the beautiful city of Lagos. And of course, I help smart investors like you to make, of course, a profitable and, of course, a fruitful real estate investment. I'll be back after this short commercial. Don't go nowhere. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm super delighted to welcome you to VGC Harrison Drive, precisely, where we have this solar powered buildings, lovely finish. All the building comes with solar power. It's also a smart house with luxury and beautiful design here in the act of VGC Lekki, Lagos. The three-bedroom terrace duplex comes with fine finishing and is available for 75 million. And the four-bedroom terrace, of course, comes with 85 million. As you can see, the finishing, the interiors are nicely done. It's a pay and parking. That means a ready to move in apartment here at Harrison Drive. So you want to know more about this property, you want to check, you want to buy. Of course, it comes with a one-time payment because it's a ready to move apartment. You can give us a call, you can book for an inspection. This is a lovely apartment. Look at the bathtub, look at the finishing, look at the tiles, look at the lighting, look at the quality of materials and things used for this house. This is one of the best house. So of course it's available for in three-bedroom terrace duplex and is available in four-bedroom terrace duplex. So if you want to check this property, you want to invest in this, you can give us a call and you'll be super delighted. Waiting to hear from you.
All
Have a
right,
nice
you're
day.
welcome back. I'm super delighted to be here. I want to say a very big thank you to everybody who have been following us. For some of our Nigerians, brothers and sisters who are using their data to follow our video, thank you very much. We are not taking this for granted. For our brothers, our mommies and daddies in diaspora, who are also using their own internet to view, creating time out of their busy schedule to follow us. But also want to say a very big thank you. We appreciate this. We appreciate your support. We appreciate everyone who's subscribing. And of course, we're also appreciating those who will subscribe after today's. Okay, so today we are going to continue from our last, series when we're talking about land disputes and land, grabbing activities in Lagos, Nigeria. And I said that I'm going to give an insightful on analysis on the causes and how today's episode is going to be on how you can avoid land disputes, and of course what you need to do on your properties for you not to attract the attention of land grabbers in Lagos, Nigeria. So today's topic is going to be very, very powerful. It's going to be insightful. It's going to be at Property Matters we don't always give less, we go to the roots. So once again, before I go further, I want to appeal. You've seen first, second, third, fourth, fifth videos, and of course, you're here to subscribe. You're getting value. Please do well to subscribe to this channel. Encourage your friends, family, and your loved ones to also do so. Support us by subscribing. So today, I'm going to be talking about of course, still on our series on land disputes and land grabbing activities in Lagos, Nigeria. So today I'm going to be talking about things you need to do to avoid land disputes and land grabbing activities. But before I go into today's analysis, I would want to quickly address, some important things that real estate investors need to understand. More importantly, if you're buying land in Lagos. Now, I was in a conversation with, of course, a dear real estate investor, an enthusiastic real estate practitioner who also is based in abroad. And this man was, we had a conversation, and it was like somebody, gave him an opportunity to buy a land for, I think, 2.5 million in so around Ekpe axis. And I was also, pitching another real estate investment to him in Chongotedo. And of course, the analysis now, today's episode is going to be another high opener because I'm going to explain most of the things that most people may not understand the way the Nigerian real estate market. So the man says, okay, fine. Do you think it's wise for me to leave an investment of 2.5 million naira and go and buy a property in Shongutel? Of course, we know the prices of, the prices of lands and houses in Shongutedo and other parts of the island. Now, my analysis was just basic. Now, you're buying a property of 2.5 million naira in Ekpe. Obviously, you don't even need a soothsayer to tell you that such property does not have document. It doesn't have papers. And the one we are giving you an opportunity to invest in Chongotedo has documents. So what do you think is the best option? The man said, okay, fine. This property, the 2.5 million naira that I'm being offered to buy property in Ekpe, I'm not saying you should not buy property in Ekpe. I'm not trying to, of course, I have investment in Ekpe. So I usually encourage people to do so if you can have several investments in Ekpe. But you need to understand that policies about real estate in Lagos is very, very important. So what I told the man is that yes, truthfully, you can buy several acres with your 2.5 compared to the one plot that you were asking to buy. But the most important thing is that just know that as you are buying from the government, have it at the back of your mind that you are still going to go back to government to also buy from them. And I said, and this is why a lot of people fall into different troubles and land scam. You need to understand that if for a developer that is selling a land of C of O with 20 million, maybe for 20 million, others may sell 30 million, depending on the location, they are not stupid. The thing is, if I'm offering you to buy a property for that high price and the property has a document, I've said it time without number that you should learn to prioritize quality over quantity. C of O with a C of O, all you need to do to perfect the title property in your name if you want to. Sometimes it's not always necessary, but if you feel like, okay, fine, I want this plot of land to be on my name, you just go for a governor's consent, which is a seamless, thing to do, and the property is yours and yours forever. Unlike going for properties that does not have documents and you are paying through your nose to get documents. I told the man, just know that as you're buying the 2.5 million naira, the developer does not have the intention of doing document. So as you are buying, and of course you are paying for your deed and whatever document they give you, just know that you are going to government to also to go and what to go and pay for them. So if you cannot, go through the rigors of getting properties, titles, which is always a rigor. Presently, right now, we have a news of your general. So the process of property documentation may not even be as easy as it has been. So I don't know yet. I don't know the policies they are going to enact. But so sometimes I usually emphasize, okay, that go for a property that already has a title. A C of O is good. You perfect it in your name to a governor's consent. A governor's consent is good. You perfect that same governor's consent to a governor's consent in your name. And chikena, that is all you need to do. Unlike buying freehold, and in most cases, the real estate developer does not have the intention of perfecting the title, and you have to go to rigors of God help you. The property is now even a committed. Then you have to start through the process of ratification. Then after ratification, you now go to regularization. After regularization, now begin to apply for C of O, and before the C of O file number is granted, you have to pay some certain amount of money, and sometimes the C of O even takes time depending on the officer and the surveyor that is even handling that process of property title perfection. It depends. Sometimes it's always easy depending on who is handling it, and sometimes it's always frustrating. So it's depending on whoever is helping you. So sometimes real estate investor, you need to understand that buying a land that already has a title is very easy, it's safe, it's advisable. Unlike buying the one, I only buy properties from a developer that has, we have an MOU, a memorandum of understanding between both of us that you are perfecting the title. So when the title is out, we share, the cost of perfection in 50, which is a fantastic idea. But that is not obviously the bone of contention for today's episode. We're talking about how you can avoid land grabbing activities in the future. And one of the things I'll be talking about basically is that, first of all, I said this before and I said this several times. Land grabbing activities in Lagos is a reality. It is endless. So one of the things you want to do basically is that when you want to buy a land in Lagos, Nigeria, or let's say for instance you want to buy a land from family, which most times I don't recommend, despite my interaction with some families, with some Omoniles that I know them, that they can say, okay, fine, Adejare, this is a plot of land. Give us this also amount of money. I know if I'm not available for a very long time, that land is gone. Then we start fighting, we start taking ourselves to police station, we start reporting. That process is tedious, and I don't want to get myself involved in this, of course. In the process of that, the very first thing you want to do if you want to avoid land disputes and land grabbing activities in the future, the first thing you need to do is that you need to consult widely. This is when you are buying um, from families. And in most cases, when you're buying from a real estate developer, you will also need to apply this same strategy because over time, I've gotten to understand that some real estate companies don't do their due diligence thoroughly. I'm so sorry to say this, I'm not going to mention name. Some real estate companies don't do their due diligence thoroughly, and this is why consulting widely is very important. The very first thing you want to do basically is that you want to identify who the actual owners of that properties are. That's first. Then, in the process of consulting widely, you want to know the number of acres of land they have there. That's number two. Then number three, you also want to confirm if their own portion of land is not encroaching into another family's land. You really want to do that because I've seen instances whereby the family A may have just 10 acres of land and family B has maybe 5 acres of land. And in the process of selling, they encroach into maybe 1 acres of family B, and before you know it, crisis begin started happening. So you want to consult widely. Then the next thing you want to do, still consulting widely, is that you want to find out the parties to that properties. Now, when I was explaining the previous video, I said the reason why that man that bought from one of the Olori Ebis was defrauded and he lost some large amount of money was because of the fact that he only intersected and of course transacted the business, okay, with just one member of the family. In the land transaction, you don't want to do that. If they tell you that they have 5 people that are the parties to this property, you want to have those 5 people sit down and have what we call a thorough conversation. If there are 10, you want in some cases we tell you, this so person is not available. We can talk on his behalf. Is our son, is our daughter. Whatever we say is what, okay, he will listen to. In most cases, please insist that all parties to that properties, all people that have legal right to that properties are on sitting. So you want to you want to do a thorough due diligence to understand if the entire parties to that properties are fully represented. Then number two, you also want to understand that one of the ways you can avoid land disputes and land grabbing activities in Lagos, Nigeria, is that you want to buy only from reputable real estate companies. You want to buy from companies that have shown track records of how they have managed crisis. You want to buy from companies that they've not even had, cases of land grabbing. You want to buy from real estate companies that you know that if there is issues, you don't need to put yourself under high blood pressure. You want to buy from companies that have shown track record of excellence. You want to buy from companies that have shown track record of rapid development. You want to buy from companies that they don't have records of starting a project, they're abandoning it, okay, and they're starting another one. You want to buy from a company that have shown integrity over the shortest or longest period of the operation. Buying from a reputable real estate company is very, very important. That is if you're not buying from family. But one thing I must also recommend basically is that you need to understand their terms and conditions for sales. A lot of people buy properties, a lot of people invest with different real estate companies without understanding their basic operational policies. And this is why we have impending land disputes. We have a lot of disagreement between clients and, of course, the real estate developer. You want to understand these are our operational policies. Some companies will say, okay, fine, when you do a 50% payment, we will give you allocation. Some will say, okay, fine, you have to pay everything. And of course, we have to so understand their basic principle. That is, after you're buying from a reputable real estate company, you want to understand their operation, you want to understand their mode of operation so that there won't be any form of disagreement in the future. That is number three. Number four, you want to check the location and you want to do what we call location analysis. I've seen instances whereby some bunch, of course, I've seen group of individuals. Of course, there's this same set of Nigerians. Of course, they are in the UK. Of course, I know they're watching this video. What these people do over time is that, I don't know, maybe they have an association of Nigerians living in the UK. So what these people do at the end of the year is that they gather a lot of money together. Of course, they will call me, myself and their lawyer, and of course together with them, we go into what property hunt. We search for properties and we do a lot of things. So if you are like them or you are thinking of doing something like that, the first thing is that you need to check the title. Something happened recently and I was very, very disappointed. And these are some of the things I've always been saying when you're buying properties. This their real estate company told us they have a C of O for their property. And this their real estate investor has already made a deposit for that property. Now, what later happened basically was that we found out that the C of O that property has been suspended. That C of O plan number has been suspended. That means that there is no C of O on that plot of land. Do you understand? So what has happened is that a lot of people have invested without knowing what is the status of the property. And this is how people lose money to real estate investment. You lose money if you don't do what we call see in all of my videos, there's no way I talk about how you can avoid land disputes and without talking about title. You want to check the title, you want to check if the C of O is still existing, if the C of O has expired, if the C of O has been suspended, if the C of O has been cancelled. Okay, they tell you the gazette. Okay, fine. Well, what year was the gazette given? What expanse of land is the gazette covering? It's a governor's consent. Is it governor's consent a process? Okay, when was the governor's consent signed? How many acres or plots of land is the government, if the governor's consent, covering? You want to do a critical analysis to understand basically that the title you are being given is what is needed, so that when you want to go further on your property, let's say for instance you want to perfect it to your own name, or perhaps you want to seek for a building approval, you won't be finding out that after you've bought the property for several years there are still some things to do, which sometimes, most times, the longer you prolong documentation or perfecting title, the more expensive it gets. In Lagos, things change everywhere. So you want to check the title, and at the same time, you want to do location analysis. What does that mean? You want to know the status of that place. If there's a project coming there, if you are going to be having a road expansion there, you want to check if your property is not close to canal. Like some people in Ibeju Lekki are built. In fact, I don't want to go into that. So you want to check if there is no road expansion coming there. You want to check whether there is no future bridge coming there. You want to check if you are not encroaching on the government basic project. So these are some of the things that you need to do, okay, when you are buying properties and when you want to avoid land disputes and land grabbing activities. You want to be certain. Okay, there was this scenario of this real estate investor that a colleague of mine was explaining that the man fainted. What happened? Basically, the man bought a property and that property was committed to an industrial project by Lagos State government. And this man has paid them in full. And another thing is that when you pay your money, your money has gone. There's nobody you want. In fact, sometimes when you get a refund, you don't get everything. And that refund basically is mostly by the grace of God, because some of them, the moment you pay them like this, the money is gone. A lot of people use that money. Some of them will marry wife. Some of them will decide to relocate. Of course, they're selling their inheritance. They will say, I don't have any reason to be there. I want to relocate to my hometown. So these are some of the things you want. So you want to check before you are paying them. Then the next thing you want to do to avoid land disputes More importantly, if you're buying from Omonile, is that you want to take possession immediately. If you have bought it, you see, if you don't have the intention of taking possession, one of the ways you can avoid stories, you can avoid people encroaching your properties, is that if you're not ready to start a project, please go and buy from real estate company. And of course, for that real estate company, I'm still coming back to that. If you're not ready to take possession immediately, please don't buy from Omonile. And taking possession is not just like they use stick or they use beacons to indicate where your plot is. I've seen instances whereby beacons are just, they are just stones, mapping out the location. Anybody can come down and remove it. It's stone. It's not. There's really nothing spectacular. So take possession. Start your fencing project. In fact, if you can close your eyes and do the fencing and gate house immediately, it will save you a whole lot of troubles and a whole lot of stories in the future. So please, when you're buying, take possession, fence, and put gates, even if you're not ready to build. So whoever they want to take there to buy, once the person sees that something has been done on the property, of course, he knows that there's a presence. So if they even want to lie, the person, of course, it's only when that person is greedy that will fall into that. Then a lot of people was asking me that, okay, fine, I'm buying from real estate company. My realtor told me that I can buy and pause. Well, it depends on the real estate developer you're buying from. Now, let me tell you that if you're buying a property from a real estate developer, you don't have a property yet until you are located. I need to quickly sound this note of warning. You don't have a property yet until you have been fully allocated. And of course, this point will obviously lead me to the previous one where I was saying that one of the ways you can avoid stories in the future is pay up your money, let them allocate you, have your papers. That's when you can say you have land, because I've seen instances whereby if that land is sold out, so and the people that matters to real estate developers are people that have paid completely. Do you understand? So if they have paid completely and they allocated that land to everybody, and you have not paid your fees, and you're saying they have a land, and you don't, because you see, a payment receipt or an acknowledgement letter is not always a sufficient document to say that you have a property. In the Lagos state land law, if you don't have a survey in your name indicating your portions of land in that estate, okay, you still don't have a property. So please, if you have bought a property, whether you're buying from company, doesn't matter the company you have bought from, if you have not paid your outstanding fees and you have not been allocated, please, you still don't have a land. Anything can still happen. They can say, okay, fine, that place is sold out. You just paid maybe 500 deposits or 1 million deposits. They want to refund you. If they don't, that means if you don't have another place. And in most cases, they say they want to reallocate you. The places you may be reallocated to may not be satisfactory to you. So please pay all your fees and get allocated. You only have a land when you have been allocated and documents to show for it. Then the last one is avoid places with records of land grabbing activities. Avoid places with land record of land. Now, how can you know places that they have land grabbing activities? See, there's a lot. There are areas that basically when investors ask me, I will tell them I can't go there. There was this real estate investor that called me, I think from the US, and we were having this conversation. And she said, I bought the land, some. I said, that location. You want to say what happened? I said, from the last time I was there, I narrowly escaped my head from being broken by my head from being smashed, okay, by Omonile. So there are places that they have records of land grabbing activities, but I cannot come online because a lot of real estate developers are watching me. But if you really want to know more, well, you can send me details. I cannot say this place, but there are several places in Ibeju Lekki, in Korodu, in that shower area, in that agric area that has records of land grabbing. And so you obviously want to stay away from those regions. And of course, you don't want to have anything. Of course, I explained how the land grabbing thing works in Lagos, Nigeria. On the final note, these are some of the things you need to put into consideration, and these are one of the proven ways that you can avoid future land disputes. And of course, we said we are a real estate um, consulting firm. We can help you get your real estate investment. Of course, with all these experiences and some of the important information we've dished out, we have proven beyond reasonable doubt that we are capable, we know what we're doing, and of course, we can save you from any form of stories that touch the heart whenever real estate investment is concerned.
This is where I'm going to draw to today's cutting of property matters on how you can avoid land disputes and land grabbing activities in Lagos, Nigeria. See you in my next video. Thank you and God bless you. Bye.